Genevieve Culberson. Horseface. Even though I'm afraid of her slandering me, I don't want her to do to someone else what she did to me. Even if it takes me an hour long, I'm going to try to warn people about Jenna. She, at a certain point, told me not to call her Genevieve, called me Jenna in a rude way. Ruder than that. So, I can't sleep, it's on my mind, and I know if I meet somebody who's inviting me to unsafe places excessively in an ongoing rate of speed, then I know to be cautious. If somebody is, because she used to invite me to a lot of unsafe situations, and some bad things happen to me. So if I meet somebody that is forcing me to go to some unsafe places, and I know it's a modern day Jenna, I'll start from the beginning. She's a mind game looking back on it. I used to think, maybe I was in love with her or like crazy, I cared about her. And then come think of it, she might have been stringing along 2 or 3 of us, because a couple of guys used to see me talking to her and used to have a problem with me, but she never told me that she had a problem with me. She was always inviting me places. And then when me and Mia hooked up, things just got worse. I don't know who was older, who was younger. Out of those 2, that's a different video. Mia Lombardi sounds like a porn star. The name suits her. And, it was her real name, far as I know. I don't know. So, from the beginning. Like I said, this takes me an hour long. It just does. This isn't easy to talk about. It took me, and she's still kind of in my head. It took me a long time to get most of her out of my head. Genevieve Culberson is a walking mind game. I don't know if she got a middle name or not. There's something on my camera lens bobbing me. I'm trying not to touch it because I don't want to. I'm trying. I think I got it. Oh shit, damn it. Did something weird. My camera doing some weird shit because I should have. Nah, I got something else I'm looking at. Let me see if I can move that out the way. Okay, I don't know what I did. It's doing a weird adjustment now. I have no choice but to try, see if I can ignore whatever it's doing. Oh, man. I'm not going to take a... Anyway, Mellow Mushroom, the timeline where Jenna came into the picture. So she was a bitch from the start. Like, she was rude to me from the start, but when Dr. Phil says don't do this, don't give people the benefit of doubt, I figured I was just incompetent, couldn't do my job, Steven tried to help me after I went to him for some advice. But he wasn't the best person to ask for advice because he got fired from a similar gig. So when it came to like the dining experience, dining in food type thing, he got fired from O'Charlie's. That's a different story. I ain't gonna get into that. And people stole my credit for the humor in that story, but that wound up working out because Steven got pretty mad when we laughed. And so the people who stole my comedic sides of his story, Steven got pretty mad at them, so it worked out that they stole my work. It worked out because he wound up being mad at them and not me. So, trying to get this right here on the edge. It's itchy, make it interesting. I have to leave y'all in a different position. Okay, so I gotta trade y'all to a new position because it just itching too bad. Itch you back right here. It's right there on the chin, right? Somewhere right there I'm trying to show y'all. Alright, so yeah. I'm not gonna talk about anything I'm not strong enough to talk about, but it was a couple times where Genevieve pulled me outside at work and wanted to talk, and I never liked it, but I could tell she was screwing somebody at work that was high in rank. You know, I don't know if everybody come with that type of radar, but I kind of can pick up on when two people are fucking, you know. So what I want to talk about her sex life, but I'll just give you a brief history on her so you know what to watch out for if you meet her. You know, by the time this video airs, she could assume another identity, another name, another face, but her actions. You stick with me, you stick with my advice, you will know her when you see her, because people could do that. This is not 1800s and whatever day and time plastic surgery was invented. This is the day on and after that plastic surgery was invented, so people can get a new face if they don't want to keep, for whatever reasons, their old face. So Jenna could, I'm not gonna rule out, she might have the money to get a new face because she got rich parents. I'm not sure if it was two parents, but I know she told me her dad was the one that put her through school. Like I said, I don't have time to get into all of that. Oh, I felt a bit better. I got some of this guy up. Alright, so I never met the dad. She never wanted me to meet the dad, and thank God, because he sounded like he would have favored me. At the same time, he would have been a creep, but favored me over her. I ain't never met a parent so far that didn't like me. So then, alright, so she pulled me outside. Thank God I don't remember what for. Probably tell me what a shit job I was doing as a worker, and so then it used to be these little things at work they used to have, and they used to intentionally leave me out. We would work after work. People go hang out at Mellow Mushroom. And then some movie once said, "All it takes is one person think you cool." I don't know if it was all staged or what, but when Jenna didn't invite me right away, so it started out like for a couple years, couple months. I'm not sure. Time ran together. Bear in mind, we probably busy doing our job, and they hanging out like at the house at work, and they so right, you know, real loud. I'm thinking that this is gaslighting. I didn't know that then, but now I know that was gaslighting hindsight. Oh, everybody, they may go on. Sometimes they'll do like a group invite right in front of me, and this is like, just take your time, Lily. Take your time. This is when that, like, let me give you a little brief timeline. Early to late 2000s. So this ain't like we were still using birds to give messages. They wasn't inviting everybody else in the room but me, because of lack of communication. They was doing it to be rude. I didn't know that at the time, hindsight. So it's a group people from work, and it was always like not always the same group from work. Gotta lay down. I'm not feeling well. It's the medication. So then, and sometimes they would, you know, it didn't hurt my feelings a whole lot, but I thought about it. Like self-critical statements and stuff like that. So she probably was starting in on me then, and I didn't. She probably sensed I was weak. I used to be weak. She probably, knew about the domestic violence with the partner I had at the time, my husband, and then husband, now ex-husband, now ex. And my broken relationship with my mother before I estranged myself from her. So me and my mom was off again, on again. Looking back on this, she probably just saw me as easy prey. I thought she wanted to be my friend, and then she probably looking at where I was coming from. I was traveling from Mississippi. So this girl come from Mississippi to Alabama and probably just made some assumptions about me. She needed some easy prey, and maybe I wasn't the first person she done that to. So I'm not strong enough to talk about everything, but I'm just gonna give you enough to know that hurt my feelings a little bit. But I didn't know it. I didn't know that till now, until prayer and taking it to God. And sometimes she used to do that with pictures. She didn't want me in her pictures. And looking back on it, a lot of her men used to look my way over my head because I was so busy trying to please Tyson. So that probably was why she wanted me to feel a certain way, because I'm not even sure if Jenna's a woman. I ain't never, unless she, how do I, if I saw her naked, it wasn't while I was awake. I'm not trying to accuse her of anything. So, because she could afford these high-power lawyers, so I gotta watch how Alright, so parties. Sometime went on, and one day, I don't remember how she asked, but I just remember the message. You could come too, Lisa. It was like an afterthought, and I'm like in the middle making pieces. I'm like, come to, go where? And a party or blah blah. It was always like some dive bar or somebody's house. It sounded like the rape was gonna happen. Like the person was somebody who people avoided at work. I ain't gonna say no name, because I ain't got time to get into all these people. And it was usually people who I had issues with at work that was bullying me at work. I worked with a male-dominant staff. And it had a high turnover rate. Chad was always firing somebody. And somebody was always scoring, trying to threaten to come up there and kill Chad. And I've seen so many people over the years threatening to beat up and kill Chad. So that went on for, I recall now, it was when I got that, I won't rule it out. I don't know if she invited me when I got the bicycle. When I hired him, I had a bicycle, then I had a couple cars, not simultaneously. I don't know if she hired me after I got a car. Or if she not hired me, if she I got hired when I had the bicycle. I remember, I don't know if she invited me to these parties when I had the car or the bicycle. I recall it was when I got that Cadillac. Even though it was a beat up piece of junk, it was a muscle car. In 1987 Cadillac in the 2000s, and it had a nice coat of paint, and the body was nice on it, no dents and dings. And I can remember the glee in her eye when she saw that car. I brought out the big gun. It was a piece of junk, but she not all women are into cars, but Jenna loved He was an actor guy that didn't wake up one day to that car stolen with the type of people I was hanging out with. So I got angels in the outfield. Somewhere out there, I got angels. Somewhere out there. I forgot how the rest of that song goes. Probably good things I don't need to be singing and he say my boy. I gotta get up again. It's damn shit itching again. So, alright, so, and I'll go to parties and she would embarrass me. I ain't gonna get into the way she embarrassed me. She'd invite me like I was the only person in the world that when I got there she'd embarrass me. She'd do little different things to embarrass me. And then it's scary because these is drug parties and you don't know what you done took and you don't know who done what so to you, and so scary to be somewhere somebody's abusing you and you stuck in a place and you are annihilated with fear and annihilated by the consumption of drugs. You don't know how the drugs get in your system. You may have sat your drink down. So, ball is not in your court. The ball is in Jenna's court. Looking back, I can remember being so scared at them parties and not knowing how many drugs I had, what was in my system. It probably, I recall now, it probably was Brandon and one or two other people. Brandon was always making sure I got home safe, and he looked out for I don't know if he looked out for anybody else, but I know he looked out for me. It may turn out that Brandon is the pervert. And the way I look at it is, it's okay, Brandon. You saved my life. You made sure I got home safe, whole and in one piece. And now it's the cause of this bitch. Oh, God damn, this thing is. Oh. So, I can't recall what those one or two people were. So probably when Brandon made sure I got home safe. Brandon, if you lace my drink, I don't give a shit because you got me home safe. And if you were in on it, you got me home safe. He's a guy, I mean, I know what to expect. Oh, got it. At least some of it. Okay, so then you got this party, she's embarrassing me. Brandon's the one I mentioned before where she embarrassed me and he checked on me and he defended me before, after the party, and during the party. So, then she would, let's just keep it simple. Say I had a lot of work issues with her. I'm not strong enough to talk about too much more about her. I can at least tell y'all how the first kiss went down. I might be able to stomach a little bit more beyond that, but I'm going to try my best to tell you about me and Jenna's first kiss. Genevieve Culberson. That's a mouthful. Jenna does. It's easier. So I can remember we was the bubble I'm not gonna get into the details of the bubble, but we was at, it's a bar. At least get into that. It was the bar. The bar was relatively close to a mushroom. Jenna came and sat down on my lap. I'm not sure how much I had to drink. My eyes are itching. Allergies are acting up. This doesn't need to go to my grave about who Jenna really is. So they might have videos of me doing God knows what, hopped up on God knows what kind of drugs and alcohol. Man, we used to party hard, and I thought, you know. All right, so back to, so she came and sat on my lap, and I can remember feeling uncomfortable, but because everybody always bullied me about the lesbian thing, I just kind of, like a man would when a woman sits on his lap that she look halfway decent, that you're supposed to go along with that or else there's something wrong with you. So the way how a man is with a woman, that's how I was. Like, okay, I'm a lesbian, so even though I don't want her on my lap, even though I'm not interested, I appreciate the compliment. I really want her off my lap right now. And I don't know who initiated the kiss, but then next thing I know, we was French kissing. You know, I mean, you know who was in the wrong. I mean, it's, it's rare for somebody to be forced to sit on someone's lap. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. But for a woman to pull somebody to their lap and force them down to sit on their lap, it's damn near impossible. Even a 2-year-old, you're gonna have a hard time getting his or her ass up, getting their ass up. So it was not a forced pull. She sat down on my lap. So you know who came on the who, but she would tell a different story, and I do not have credible witnesses. Most of the people up there they don't have to wait to slander me. They already slandered me when I was working there. And, so I remember that there were other people there trying to take me home, and it was I can't remember everything. I just recall now that Chad used to always put Jenna on my shift. I thought it was just sheer coincidence, you know. Now you can see what I'm hitting. I'm trying to hit that keep hurting and itching. Like I got a pile of dirt under my skin. That's how itchy. Shit, it might be. That's how itchy it is right here. It's like a ghost I can't get out of my head. Like, she didn't put her fist to my face. Physical abuse as far as I can remember. Not to say it didn't happen, you know, and I might have been inebriated or just so traumatic, but the emotional and the verbal abuse that she put me through my therapy is forcing me to deal with how dangerous this woman really is. And this woman, I do not have a restraining order against. This woman can just walk up to me freely with no consequences. So, yeah, Jenna left me with some some things I never dealt with, some things I blame myself for, and the way she used to talk to me like everything was my fault. She never would, as my uncle said it best about some woman, he said never would lay with him, but she enjoyed teasing him and stringing him along, giving him blue balls. And he said, come to find out that woman had incurable sex disease, STD. So Jenna was always teasing me and not giving me sex, but always withholding from me. Maybe that was an act of God. And Whitney Evans was the same way. And Bobby Woodward told me Whitney had incurable STD. And, Whitney was always teasing me, stringing me along, giving me the blue clitoris. So that worked out that she didn't deem me worthy of sex. And the thing is, I didn't want it from either one of them, but I convinced myself that I did because they told me that I did. Like, that's pretty normal in domestic violence to go along with what I don't know what to call these people. Me and Jenna never dated. I don't know what to call it. But domestic violence can happen to somebody who's not. It can happen between people who are not partners. So can domestic terrorism. I'm not sure. Co-worker, acquaintance, maybe. Yeah, domestic stuff can happen between acquaintances. I thought they were my friends, but they were acquaintances. Those two, Whitney and whatever the fuck her name was, Jenna, were acquaintances. I didn't know that at the time because they were convincing me otherwise. I'm not gonna get into Whitney in this video too in detail, but I don't have strength for Whitney. Talk about Whitney. I think it is a patch of dirt under my skin. I feel like whenever I touch it. So I'm trying to get that out. Tweezers. Just the people watching at home. Sorry, people, I ain't got no tweezers. Alright, so, alright though, so you, yeah, it's the way she used to talk to me when she had an issue, and it wasn't always, when she had an issue, it was just whenever she went to talk to me, address me, she was verbally and emotionally abusive, and, belittling, snarky comments. She never could just talk to me like a person. She always had to talk to me like I was nothing. Is the best way to describe the emotional. She talked to me worse whenever she used to lure me out to go get drunk, then get me off somewhere with it's gonna be safe. She would say it's gonna be such and such enough from work gonna be there. Then when we get off, she rude to me and hopped up on whatever drugs. Then slipped in my drink, and of course ain't no way to prove that ain't nobody drugged me, so I'm thinking I just drank too much. And so them telling me you got a problem and shit, they left no room for error, so I'm just thinking I drank too much. I'm not factoring in that when I go to the bathroom, I'm not taking my drink every single time I go to the restroom, I'm just going, drink right there. So I'm not finna beat myself up, but anyway. So, as scared as I ever was hanging out with Jenna was, this might be the last time I saw her, was when I knew her and her brother was fucking. Because she said, me and my brother got a house together and I'm having this house party and I want you to come. And the parties are pretty big. She would get like, get on Facebook and when I did have like 200 something friends and half these people I didn't even know who they were. And she would, it would have like 760 some people going. So that might have been the last party I went to because I was traveling from Mississippi to, at a point in time, lining me and her acquaintanceship. I was traveling state to state, and she was still inviting me to parties. I was still working at Mellow Mushroom and commuting because I knew I was going to have a hard time finding a job other than Domino's in Mississippi. And, so that means lay down, I'm going to lie down. So I went anyhow, even though it was gas. She never compensated me for anything. It was always BYOB. And I ain't got time to explain what that means. And so the one, I had no choice but to end on that note because, like I said, I'm not strong enough to talk about Jenna for too long. I knew something bad was gonna happen because she, I told you I got a radar for when people are fucking. I'm like the Yoda of the fucking world. And so when she said, man, my brother got this place, and I'm like, I said, whoa. She said, no, wait, hear me out. And I'm like, whoa, you just know, listen, I got this. Me and my brother living together. I'm thinking, they are fucking. She's inviting me. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna kick my teeth down my throat. Because at that point in the timeline, years had gone by, but me and her had made out and kissed several times, and I lost track of how many times we. So I'm scared to death, and I may have met her brother once, but I don't remember. He was real tense around me until what she told him. She might have told him I raped her. I don't know. I agreed to go to this party. Jenna's not the kind of person you say no to. So I go to this. I reluctantly agree, and I don't know what was in my drink, but it's like every time I try to go to leave, she dropping hints that she want me to stay. And it went on for I don't know how long that went on, and I remember her putting me out, and drug and intoxicated, and not sure how to get out of where. And I think that might have been her intention, for me to get lost. And I can just, every time, just like that night with Kayla, every time I went to get up and try to leave, her body language was threatening. I tried to get up and leave with the others a long time ago, but like I said, she kept giving me these mixed signals. And finally, between the drugs I was on and her body language, she finally put me out, but it was the way she did it that was so, mind games. I managed to get out of it without her brother coming out beating me up. And when I was finally standing at the door, she acted like she didn't want me to leave, but I couldn't do nothing but just go. And we never right away talked about what happened that night, but one day, this is a part of this story. One day, I don't know the timeline, I don't know if it was years later or days later, but she came, this is how I say she's a mind game. This is what I say, you see her run. After time went by, she was like, I did want to that night, and I want to right now, but I'm not going to. Want to what? Even though I know what she means, this isn't me paying her back. This is wanting to be clear. What you wanted to what, Jenna? Take you home. She never could admit it, but take you home. Just want to take you home. All right, take you home right now. And I don't know what my my response was. But hey, my advice: you see this woman run. She is one walking mind game. Walking mind game run. I don't want her to do to anyone else what she's done to me. Be emotional. I'm still living with emotional scars from Genevieve. I won't rule out maybe picking up a germ from melon mushroom. That place used to be so nasty. It was like somebody. I want to talk about how nasty the floors. That's just getting on the floors. Some of the stuff I'm dealing with right now might actually be from how gross that kitchen was. That was a nasty kitchen.